Here's the question. How do you make the impossible possible? Simple. Remove the I am, the ego. Now, how do you step into that newfound possibility? With a series of small intentional steps. Never forget, the greatest among us started from humble beginnings. But to truly unlock your potential, realize you're here for something greater. If you're yearning for more than just a good life, let's take that small step together to reach greatness. Welcome to the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast, where we're talking to those who have gone from mediocrity to motivated, overlooked to overachieving, forgettable to unforgettable. Are you ready? Let's go. Well, hello, everybody. I am back to the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast. And as is fairly typical, I'm gonna just roll with something here and just see what comes out of it. It's probably not going to be a long one, but I was thinking again about the term greatness and reflecting on my own life and thinking that, man, in many ways, I'm just not feeling great. Been riding a wave, and not necessarily all in a good way, like a scary, overwhelming kind of wave. And in some ways it's crashed on top of me or crashing on top of me. And out of that, I've had to learn some things, pull it back to a high priority kinds of, well, what am I going to do about this? What is my highest priority in this way? And what is my core values? What are they exactly? Which I'll just mention a couple of them is to abide with God is my top core value, and I abide with family, and that means deeper relationships, ever deepening relationships, getting to know them, and then there's other core values too. So, greatness from small beginnings. The small beginnings part is really easy, not just to imagine, but to be part of, to understand in one another's lives. Like most of us have come from smaller spots and places that are either small emotionally, small physically, small from a stature standpoint, a like positionally, or small financially, and I wouldn't say that I've gone a long ways in really any of those. And yet, the way that God made us and what I really believe he wants us to do and be is to be great, his version of great. And then what happens after that? I was just reading in Psalm 1, and then there's a section in Psalm 2 and several of the others that talk about to be like the tree planted by the living waters, and that everything you do will prosper. And that is the definition of greatness, because you get the right input, the right output. Then if part of the right input is leaning towards his laws and his best for us, and understanding the way he operates and thinks, consider the 10 Commandments and many other things. If we do that, then he's going to prosper us. And I've been using the word abundance lately, in abundance. And so success is one of those things that we would assume means financial, or like complete freedom, enough money to travel or do whatever you want to do. And maybe that is what it means to most or some, or maybe that is actually in the definition in Webster's dictionary. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But success is one of those things that is, there's not much of a standard for it. But when you say that someone is living an abundant life, then you assume that there's a happiness, there's a peace and a joy that comes with that kind of abundance. So, quick thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to read a passage of scripture that has been important to me for the last year or so. God told me to begin the process. I found it. I came across it Don't remember how. I think through the Bible app that I look at almost every day. And he said, I want you to look at this. I want you to write it down every day. And it isn't every day, it's 3 or 4 days, sometimes 5 days a week, in a just a yellow pad. And I write that, and I write some goals, almost always exactly the same. Every now and then they're tweaked a little because I have a new idea. And then I usually write something that just dumps something onto paper. And often it's God help me, Lord help me, or I really need your wisdom on this subject. And so I'm dumping on paper in this yellow book. And this is the third one I've probably written in. And I'm going to keep doing that as long as God tells me to. But this verse, I haven't been, again, stuck in it, but I've been told to do this, and until I'm released, and again, I'm not into it, I probably could move on, but I would rather, the Lord told me to do it, and I'm still getting something out of it with him and for myself, in particular about greatness. It mentions greatness twice in these 3 verses. And I'll read this, and then we'll dig into what greatness is beginning to mean to me. And it's come through some adversity. And you might see in these verses why I would write these verses during an adversity situation. And it's adversity at work, which is a lot of what happens there is temporal. It's going to burn someday. And most of it doesn't honestly matter. Not most, but much of it doesn't honestly matter. The relationships with the people do, and the people do matter. So I'll read it. It's 1 Chronicles 29:11-13. Yours, O Lord, is the power and the glory, the victory and the majesty. For all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, and you are head over all. Honor and riches come from you, and you reign over all. In your hand is power and might. In your hand it is to make great and give strength to all. Now, therefore, O God, we thank you and praise your glorious name. This is a prayer that King David in the Bible, prayed. This was his last stand up in front of the nation of Israel before he died. And somehow he knew that, and he prayed this, amongst other things. It actually continues going a little bit longer with things like, who am I to be worthy of your blessings and things like that. But I thought it was interesting to break down, since this is the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast. We understand small beginnings, but do we understand greatness from God's perspective? And right in the first line of this verse, the verse, 1 Chronicles 29:11, it says, yours, O Lord, greatness, the power and the glory, the victory and the majesty. So just put those things together in the same thought. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness, okay, which is kind of the capstone. And then he adds flavor to it, the power and the glory. He is powerful. He is mighty. He is wonderful. He is every great thing we can describe him as. His is the power, his is the glory. And then it goes the victory and the majesty. So the victory is greatness synonymous with victory. I think ultimately it is, not no matter what it looks like. So the Apostle Paul in the Bible spent a lot of time in prisons because he was very bold, and it was illegal to do what he was doing, to proselytize and go and preach in the temples and these kinds of things. And they, whether it was illegal or not, they made it illegal and arrested him for crazy charges and threw him in prison. And what did he say every time? Hey, I'm living in victory here. I'm getting what I want. If I can't preach to the masses, I'll preach to these guys right here, the jailers right in here, and they'll come to know Jesus. It doesn't matter to me who I preach to, and wherever I am is where I will preach. And to me, that is part that's being said here, is that yours, O Lord, is the greatness, the power and the glory, the victory and the majesty. He has enough. He is enough. And then it says, for all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth is yours. And remember, this prayer, all points towards him. Yours is the kingdom, and you are head over all. Honor and riches come from you. Oh, honor and riches. When we think about all the things that we need to do, been thinking a little bit lately again, so many times in my life, if I thought about what it means to honor your father and mother. So it comes with a promise, and it's the only one that does that. And so it's interesting to think about what does honor mean in God's economy and God's mind and his world, the world he created. And I still don't know completely, but I do know it has nothing to do with what one deserves. That I figured out so far. It's a positional thing. Honor and riches come from you, as in God. Honor comes from God. Being honorable is a whole different thing. Riches come from God because he controls it all. He has the power over it. He is the majesty. He is the King of kings, and he is the one that bestows good things upon us, his subjects. And then he says, in your hands is power and might. And then in one of the near the last lines, it says, it is in your hand to make great. So what's God's intention for us? What's God's intention in regards to greatness? In your hand it is to make great, give strength to all. At first, I began to see those as two separate thoughts. And it's like, oh, he makes people great and he gives strength. And sometimes he does. I've discovered that he gives both at the same time. He gives greatness because he's given strength. If it's his strength, then there's amazing stamina. There's amazing patience. There's patience beyond our humanness for sure, which is then what becomes one of the things that identifies greatness in us. Isn't that something? I am amazed by this passage. I've written it down in the last year or so, probably 200 times, some out of just sheer desperation that I need to hear some truth from you that says that you're in control. And this does that for me. And other times it's been out of ritual, and then I pick up something. But it's given me a deeper understanding of what means in this line. In your hand it is to make great. So it's not something that just happens. It's not something that necessarily humans just go do, is go become great. But the abundance that I was talking about, that prosperity, the success that is still a little wobbly on what exactly it means, but the prosperity and the abundance is us is him making us great. But do we need that to be great? And I'm not seeing that anywhere in this passage either, anywhere in this or anywhere in scripture that says we could be in prison. Well, hopefully we didn't do the crime that put there, because everybody's innocent that goes there, right? But we do need to consider what kind of life do we want at the other end? And do we need to, quote, succeed? Do we need money? Do we need prosperity? In the world's eyes, the definition of that in the world's eyes, or do we just need more of God, more of Jesus, more of his victory and majesty in our life, more of his power and glory in our life, and more of his greatness in our life? Well, I think we do. I think that's the answer. All right. So I'm going to finish up. And as always, I finish up with Zig Ziglar's. Well, thanks for listening to me today and do this quick Bible study on these 3 verses. Please come back. Please comment. Please, I don't get any comments on YouTube. Check this out on YouTube. Rare comments. But I appreciate you watching always, or listening, wherever you listen. But please comment. Find me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm also on there. Keith L. Callaway, and YouTube, Keith L. Callaway. But I always finish up with Zig Ziglar's line that says, "You were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness." Oh, so that means it grows over time. It's planted, not nurtured first, sprouts, germinates, sprouts, that becomes something, and then grows into a crop. That is life, isn't it? That is my life. Now the call to action. We can choose this, and you can choose this. And so we say, now go be great.